right, I think we'll get started now. Again, welcome to the University of Pennsylvania virtual information session for the Master of Environmental Studies program. I assume if you're interested, that you're here because you're interested in a master's program in the environment. And the unique character of our program is that we are a professional master's program, which means that we are not only going to help you get the academic experience and credentials that you need, but we're also going to be helping you all along the path to develop your skills, your professional skills, certifications that you might need, internships if that's what you're looking for, all to help you develop everything that you need to get the type of position that you would like after you graduate. So unlike a normal research master's program where the goal is really to get you into a PhD program and nothing else, we're more geared towards getting you a job after you graduate. That's not to say that you can't go on to get a PhD, and we certainly have had a fair share of students who have done that, and that's not an issue. We can help you with that as well, but our main goal is to help you get a job. All right, a little bit about the University of Pennsylvania. And again, feel free to ask questions in the chat room at any time. I'm happy to stop and answer those as we go. We have been doing this for a little bit of time here now. We just actually celebrated our 20th anniversary, which was a lot of fun last year. And so we're 21 years in the program and have had a lot of fantastic students, a lot of great alumni. And that's a great base for us, for our students in terms of finding internships and jobs when they graduate. So it's a great group, over 300 graduated from the program already and going strong. So we are part of the School of Arts and Sciences at the University of Pennsylvania. There are actually 12 schools in the university. Now, despite the fact that you are housed in the School of Arts and Sciences, you are allowed to take courses in the other schools at Penn. So that means that you could take a course in the Wharton Business School, you could take a course in the law school, the School of Engineering, the School of Design, and so forth. So you are allowed to take 4 courses outside of our school, and that really gives you some flexibility and some ability to really try some new things and also to gain some skills in areas that you might not otherwise have. So we think that's a real strength of our program. We are part of the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. The School of Arts and Sciences has 3 colleges, and we're in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies, which is our professional master's programs section. And we are housed in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. And so this is a picture of Hayden Hall, which is where we're broadcasting from today. And we are here in the department. Most of our classes are here in this building or in one of the buildings around Hayden Hall. So it's a very close-knit community and a lot of fun to visit. In terms of, whoops, I think I skipped a thing here. Philadelphia, a lot of people ask, you know, why would you want to study the environment in a city, an older city in Philadelphia, for instance. And it turns out that we actually have a lot going for us here in Philadelphia. It's a really fantastic place, a lot of up and coming and interesting projects going on around the city. Our mayor has committed to making Philadelphia one of the greenest cities in the nation. He has signed on to the mayor's climate commitment, which commits us to reaching the carbon emissions goals set by the Paris Climate Accord for the U.S., even though the Trump administration has pulled out of the accord. Our mayor has committed to continuing to strive for those goals. So we are doing that. We have the water department's commitment to green infrastructure, which is a really fantastic way to manage stormwater runoff. And it's a really one of the earliest places to start doing this. And we have some fantastic people doing projects all over the city and even on this campus that you can get involved with. We also have the Energy Hub here in Philadelphia, which is an incubator for energy projects, and there's plenty of internships available through that. Now, the Penn campus itself, like I said, is doing a lot with green infrastructure, and so here's a picture of Penn Park, which is not only a massive athletic facility, which is great for our teams, but it's also a stormwater management project. And so it actually manages storm runoff from the campus. We have over 300 acres of contiguous campus here in West Philadelphia. And as you can see here, there's a lot of trees and a lot of green space. And the interesting thing about, like I said, this is that we actually use Penn Park as a way to manage stormwater runoff so it doesn't run into the river, which you can see in the foreground. The Schuylkill is right there. So that's been a fantastic project. There's another project right in front of or right across the street from Hayden Hall called Shoemaker Green, another stormwater management project where our students are actually on a regular basis monitoring the system to see how it's working, how it's functioning as a long-term study to see how green infrastructure really works. Because there are a lot of green infrastructure projects around, and this particular one is being carefully studied to see how it performs. Certainly, as you can see here, the Penn President Gutman has signed the American College and University President's Climate Commitment back in 2007, and we continue to be committed to that goal. We are ranked consistently as one of the nation's top 25 green power purchasers by the EPA, mostly wind power. All right. And as you can see here, another picture, this is a Shoemaker Green, which I said is across the street from Hayden Hall. Lovely green park space, used to be parking lots and tennis courts, and is now a stormwater management project. It manages all the stormwater running off of the palestra and from surrounding buildings. Also on campus, we have the Climate Center for Energy Policy. So if you're interested in energy, this is a fantastic place to go to learn about energy. There are seminars throughout the semester. There are opportunities to do research, to get internships through the summer, and receive fellowships to do projects off campus. So there's a lot of opportunities there. There's also the Initiative for Global Environmental Leadership, which is housed in the Wharton School of Business. And again, this is a more business-focused environmental program, and our students get heavily involved with their seminars and initiatives that they're doing there. So depending on your interest, you may want to go and get involved with the energy group or with the Wharton business group, as well as some of our field programs, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Now, a little bit about our students. We have 102 active students in the program this semester, and right now it's about 67% female and 33% male. Our international student population is about 15% of the group, and these are some of the countries that they are from. Okay. One of the questions that we often get is just what is the typical major for a student coming into the program? And in fact, there is no typical major. People are coming in with all sorts of different majors. Here's a few listed. The typical ones that you might expect: biology, geology, environmental studies, or science. But we also have people with economics backgrounds, English, political science. We've had religious studies. The key here is your focus and interest in the environment, and we can help you with a lot of the other courses that you might need that you may have missed as an undergraduate. Here is a picture of our wetlands class at the Maurice River in New Jersey. We have a lot of field courses that take you throughout the area, and we have some really fantastic ecosystems to look at, as well as some interesting places in the urban environment. Okay, now a little bit about our curriculum. It is multidisciplinary. We do that on purpose. Environment is multidisciplinary by nature, and we really want you to get out there and learn about a lot of different areas. So even if your focus is, say, environmental biology, you're going to need to know a little bit about environmental law, environmental policy, and depending on what kind of a program you're doing, you may need to learn more about water, geology, and so forth. So we're going to look at your background and your goals, and we're going to determine what you need to make it to those goals and develop your curriculum specific to you. So everyone looks a little bit different. Even though we might have 10 people in the environmental biology concentration, each one of them will be taking different courses. They will not be taking all the same courses because it's based on what their background is and then where they're headed. What kind of job are they looking for when they graduate? All right, so here are our concentrations, and we actually have 7 of them. And the options are environmental advocacy and education, which is focused on folks going into obviously environmental education or work with the public. And this could be in a school, or it could be in a nature center, and it could be even places like our Philadelphia Water Department wants to educate the community about the projects that they're doing, so they hire our students to do that sort of thing. So education and advocacy can mean a lot of different things, and it doesn't necessarily mean just working with kids, although that is definitely an option. Our environmental biology folks typically go into field work and then work in conservation, wildlife, etc. Our environmental health folks tend to go into public health work, looking at problems with lead in the water, air pollution, and so forth. Our environmental sustainability folks typically go into business. They work with companies who want to have help with their bottom line, with their supply chain, with life cycle analysis. And so many of our students are working for big companies now, like Johnson & Johnson, FMC, and so forth. We also have students who go into universities and work as the coordinator for their sustainability initiatives. So we see students going in 2 directions in that group. Our policy folks tend to go in a lot of different directions. Oftentimes they are heading to places like Washington, or if they're from other countries, to their own governments to help with policy writing, regulation, and so forth. Our resource management folks tend to work in the field a lot. They work with conservation groups, Nature Conservancy, National Lands Trust, places like that, where they're really getting out there, helping to preserve land or manage properties that have already been preserved. Our urban environment folks are typically going in to work on urban issues. Often this green infrastructure issue comes back into play. You know, it might be something to do with transportation, better walking conditions, better biking lanes. They do a lot of interesting work in the city environment. Urban forestry is another part of that concentration. All right, one of the really nice parts of our program is the Capstone Project. It really gets you in-depth knowledge about your topic. We typically ask students to go out and look for the types of jobs that they think they want when they graduate, and then see if they can find a project with that particular company that they'd like to work for, or a company similar to what they'd like to work for. If they can find a project in that organization that will help them to improve their skills, meet people in that field, and also potentially you know, receive a job offer when they're done. Here are some examples of projects that students have done, and it's a broad range of projects because we have such a broad range of concentrations to choose from. Here are some of our students at the UN meeting with officials about global water policy as part of one of our global water policy classes. Now, I did mention that we are really focused on professional development. And so we really want you to, from day one, learn as much as you can, not just about the science, about the policy, the sustainability, but also learn a little bit about how to develop yourself as a professional so that you are ready to get a job when you come out. Even if you already have a job in the environmental field, I think there's a little bit of something for everyone where we can help you with promotions, or even if it's just a raise at your current organization, or if you want to make a career change. So one of the things that we do is a first-year retreat. We do this before classes start, before your first semester. And we take everyone to the Poconos Mountains north of the city. And for the weekend, we talk about academic planning, career planning, what's possible, opportunities for you here in the program on the campus. And we also talk a little bit about networking, professional development, and various skills that you might need for networking. So there's networking among your peers while you're there, and then also just some networking skills that you can develop if you haven't already. And it's in a nice setting. It's a very beautiful campus that we stay at. Our second year retreat is in your second year of your program, and that part of this, it's actually on campus, and you learn about a number of different things. First of all, we do an academic plan check to see how you're doing with the plan that you made at the first year retreat. Then we have a capstone progress report. How are you doing with your capstone project? Do you need help? Is there anything that we need to change? We do some professional development, which includes finding the perfect job and negotiating salaries. So there's a lot of interesting and helpful information given out at that session. In terms of our alumni, where are they now? Here's a list of some of the companies that our alumni are currently working at. And again, it's a broad range because there's such a broad range of concentrations to choose from. So depending on the concentration that you're in, you'll find students going into different positions. Once you get here, we have a closed LinkedIn group that we invite you to join, and then you can see what our alumni are doing. You can reach out to them. We have alumni panels in the spring where we bring alumni in to talk about what they're doing now, what opportunities they might have for capstone research or internships in their companies. And we have a number of happy hours where we invite alumni to come and join students and just network. So there's a lot of opportunities to meet and talk to alumni while you're here in the program. Now, a lot of folks ask about application deadlines. Are they coming up for the spring semester, which our spring semester starts in January? The application deadline is November 1st, and we need you to submit your application by the 1st and hopefully get your all of your materials, including recommendation letters, test scores, etc., in as soon after November 1st as possible. If you're applying for the fall semester that starts in late August, the deadline is April 1st. All right. This is our Energy Systems and Policy class field trip. Obviously to learn about renewable energy. Application requirements include the online application. We don't have a paper application option at this point, so it's just online. There are 3 application essays. The first application essay is, how did you become interested in the environment? Our second one is, what would you like to do while you're in the program? And our third one is, what would you like to do once you graduate? So the specific questions are on the application, and so you'll see those, and we ask that you write those up as one document and upload it to the application system. We do have a committee of faculty who review the applications, and they do look at your application as a whole. So if you perchance have a couple of bad grades or your test scores are not as good as you might like, that doesn't necessarily keep you from getting into the program. They want to see everything about you. Your essays are very important in that process. Other things, again, there's an application fee. Official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. You can actually submit unofficial transcripts if you went to American universities, and then if you get admitted, then we need the officials. If you attended international universities, we will need official transcripts evaluated by WES. So the information for that is on our website, and it does take a bit of time, so that's something that you'll want to get started right away. We also ask for a resume, which helps us understand what you're doing, not just academically, but also have you had internships or jobs, that sort of thing. Memberships in organizations, volunteer work, all of this is very important when looking at your application. GRE scores. TOEFL scores if you are from a country whose native language is not English, and 2 letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation can be from your university professors, but if you've been out of school for a while and you haven't been keeping in touch with your professors, supervisors or colleagues at current jobs are also acceptable. Now, financing your education, how do you pay for this? We do not have scholarships or currently research assistant positions for this program, so it is a bit of a difficult time sometimes paying for the program. Some of our students are able to get subsidized student loans. You have to fill out a FAFSA for that. I think that's only available to American citizens. You could get company tuition benefits if you work for an organization that has that. Many times companies are willing to pay for you to go to school part-time, and we do have part-time and full-time options for the program. You could apply for external scholarships, NSF, SWEP, Society for Women Environmental Professionals. There are many scholarships. Many of our international students receive government scholarships from their governments to come and do the program. We've had a few students do Fulbright and other things, so there's really many options for you in terms of getting positions. Occasionally we do have TA positions available. They are semester to semester, so if you get it for the fall, you don't necessarily get another TA position for the spring. It depends on the needs of the department and what the availability is. But once you apply to the program and get accepted, we'll send you an application for the TA positions. We do have some capstone research funding, which helps pay for materials that you might need to do your project, whether that be lab supplies, field supplies, or travel if you're going to a specific location for your project. And we also have travel subvention awards that can help you go to conferences or networking events that you'd like to attend. So those are some of the opportunities that we have available. We do have some special degree programs that you might be interested in as well. The first one, well, we have a number of dual degree programs, and this is an opportunity for you to do our Master of Environmental Studies and another master's degree program at the University of Pennsylvania at the same time. The benefit from doing them at the same time as opposed to one after the other is that you're able to double count some of the courses, which reduces the total number of courses you have to take, which is less expensive and also less time. And so it is, if you are thinking, oh, hey, I might want to get a law degree at some point, you might want to consider a dual degree program with law and the Master of Environmental Studies program, especially if you're interested in environmental law. So these are the programs. There's the Wharton MES, the dual degree with the Wharton School, which is the Master of Environmental Studies and the Master of Business Administration. There's a dual degree with our Fels Institute of Government, which is the Master of Environmental Studies and the Master of Public Administration. The law school has a dual degree with us with the Master of Environmental Studies and the Juris Doctor or JD program. The School of Medicine, we have a Master of Environmental Studies and a Master of Public Health program. Very nice. And so those, any of those, what you do is you apply to both of our programs separately. So you, if you were to say want to do the MES MBA program, you would apply to both programs separately. We can share some application materials, and if you're interested in this dual degree option, just contact me and I can give you some information about that. But you apply to both programs separately, you get accepted by both separate application committees, and then once you're admitted to both programs, we combine your what we call career, and you then get special advising on how to complete both programs in a timely manner. So these are fantastic opportunities. We have students in these dual degrees that can always talk to you if you have questions about that. We also have something called the Multi-Master's Degree Program, and this actually is a program with Tsinghua University in Beijing and Minpri Tech in Paris, France. And the program has you come to Penn, get accepted to the Master of Environmental Studies program, take 8 courses with us, then you apply to the other 2 programs while you're a student here. Once you get admitted to the other 2 programs, you leave Penn after completing your 8 courses, you go to Tsinghua University in the fall and spend 3 months there. And then you go to Minpri Tech in the spring for 4 months. Then you take on a 4 to 6 month internship, and you will then write up what you do for a project for that internship as the capstone for our program and the master's requirements for the other 2 programs. So when you're done, you will have Master of Environmental Studies from the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, a Master of Science in Environmental Engineering from Tsinghua University in Beijing, China, and a postmaster's degree in environmental management from Minpri Tech in Paris, France. So this really gives you an opportunity to get 3 degrees in approximately 2.5 to 3 years, and it's just a fantastic opportunity. Our students have done extremely well in terms of positions when they've come out of this program. We also have certificate options if you're not really interested in doing a full dual degree, which is a lot of time, a lot of energy. You might want to think about a certificate to go along with your master's in environmental studies. And we have a certificate in the Geographic Information Systems, GIS, land preservation, and law. So those are also opportunities for you while you're here for just a few more courses. All right, so that's our curriculum. Those are some of the things that are available to you. And again, I'm happy to talk to you specifically about a dual degree program or certificate if this is something that you're interested in. But I thought I'd talk to you a little bit today about our student groups. And what are they doing? What are our students doing? We do have a graduate advisory board. This is our student government, and these folks do a number of different things. They help co-sponsor our alumni career panel, the one I mentioned before, where alumni come in and talk about their positions now, their experiences in the program, internships and capstone research available in their companies. They co-host coffee hours once a month where students can get together and just chat before class and get a lot of sugar and caffeine right before class. They hold an all-student meeting where they discuss things, how can we improve the program, what's working well, what's not working well, what you'd like to see. And then one member of the graduate advisory board will actually bring that information to us, and then we will try to help out or change or improve the program as suggested by the group. So they do that once a year. There are happy hours throughout the semester. And then they do some fun things. They'll do ice skating or apple picking. They might go to a haunted house in October, rock climbing events, and wine tasting. So it's really up to you and the students who are in the program at the time to decide what you want to do. But these are all opportunities that they host throughout the semester. Something else that you can get involved in is the WH2O Journal of Gender and Water. And this is a student-run open access journal, and it is online. So I think Sally put the link, there you go. The link is now in the chat room. And this is fantastic. It was started by two students who did this as their capstone back in 2012. And it has continued since. We just published our most recent issue in May, and we're hoping to publish our next one next May. And our students get involved in every part of the process, from the social media and website design to the journal design to writing their own articles and blogs, and also editing articles that come in from researchers. So it's an opportunity to get to see the behind the scenes. How does it work to have a research journal? How does this all work? And also gives you a nice line on your resume and an opportunity to just get involved with a really, really important topic. So this is something that you can do while you're a student here at Penn. I mentioned the Initiative for Global Environmental Leadership earlier. Here's just a few more things about what they do. Again, it's at the Wharton School of Business. Our students are heavily involved with this group, and they work on research. There are seminars and networking events, conferences. They have internships and volunteer opportunities throughout the year, and opportunities for you to write blogs on topics of environmental business. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for networking and finding help with businesses and so forth. Now, some opportunities that you might want to take advantage of as a student here at Penn. Certainly there are a number of groups that we work with off campus. So you can do research with faculty on campus, but you can also get involved with groups off campus. And so some of the local groups, the Tacony Frankfurt Watershed Partnership is always looking for help and research. The Northern Research Station, which is a U.S. Forest Service group, they have a fantastic opportunity to work on urban forestry projects, citizen science, green infrastructure projects, all these sorts of things. The Stroud Water Research Center is another very water-related group. that is doing everything from repair and restoration to daylighting streams, and they're always looking, they work with fish, so that they're always interested in having our students involved in projects that they're doing and that they are publishing. And these are just a couple of more the research-oriented, like fieldwork type component research groups. We always encourage students to publish, whether that be a blog or a scientific journal. And we've had students publish in research journals. We've had students publish in law review journals, and so forth. So there's opportunities throughout. You can work on an independent study with a specific professor. We had a student just recently work with a professor in the School of Engineering on an energy project that they will be publishing on renewable energies. We have students' capstones being published, and I think Sally just put up a link to the Scholarly Commons, which is where some of our capstones are published, but some of those capstones also become journal articles. And sometimes students just do extra projects outside of academia, like outside the academic setting, where they're just working with faculty or groups on projects, and they often get published. Again, you can collaborate with our faculty or these local organizations on projects. It really is up to you. If you're interested in a particular topic, we'll help you find someone that's doing that, and potentially you can get on a research project and get published at some point. We also encourage you to attend conferences. Some of the conferences are actually part of a course. We have a course that just went this summer to World Water Week in Stockholm, Sweden. We have a course called, I believe, let's see, well, it's one of our sustainability courses, and they'll be attending the Sustainable Brands Conference that's actually being held in Philadelphia this year. Last year they went to Sustainatopia, which is a sustainability conference that was held in Boston, Massachusetts. So many of our courses do have a trip component to them, where you might attend a conference and network and meet people in your field and learn more about what's happening right now. It's not even published yet, types of research. And so the conferences can be great for networking. They can be great for finding a capstone project or finding a position. Okay. Oh, I should probably say this picture is Yukyung Lee, who actually hosted a panel discussion on women in water at World Water Forum 5 in Istanbul. So students have attended a number of different conferences, not just in the US, but all over the world. We also encourage our students to attend special events here in our department or that are related to our department. The All Ivy Environmental Career Fair is a career fair hosted at Columbia University in Manhattan every year, and it is open only to students and alumni who are from the Ivy League schools. So it's a really wonderful opportunity to meet recruiters who are also alum, so it gives you kind of an in terms of job searching or internship searches. We have our alumni panel, which I've already mentioned. We have the Henry Darwin Rogers Lecture, which is a Department of Earth and Environmental Science sponsored event. It's a big bash every year. And then our Graduate Research Forum, which is when 4 to 5 of our students actually present their capstone research to the group. And then we have a poster session and wine and cheese soiree afterwards as a reception for all of our folks graduating in May. Internships, we really do encourage all of our students to take on an internship. Even if you have a job, there are opportunities to do certain types of internships that are more remote access, online, or can somehow work into your schedule even if you have a day job. And some of our internships this summer have been with the Philadelphia Energy Authority through the Kleiman Center. Down in Washington, we had a student who works full-time but was able to take days off from work to go down to Washington, D.C. and work on the flood management program policy. And students have worked with the EPA, the UN Environmental Program, our Urban Research Station, and on and on, so different companies as well. So We really do make an effort to help you find something that works for you and your time commitments and your ability to, get out and do things. And in most cases, we can find paid internships as well, which is wonderful. Now, a little bit about special courses and certifications. We do host a couple of certification classes. One is our OSHA 40-hour HAZWOPER certification. This is something that you would need if you wanted to go into environmental consulting, where you might go into the field where there are potentially hazardous wastes. Some of our students do go into that area. Some of our resource management folks or even our environmental biology folks. And so this is a really good certification to have on your resume. It's 32 hours online and then an 8-hour dress out, which is the picture here that we do here on campus in Hayden Hall on a Saturday so that you can get your certification and you take a test online to finish it up. So this is a really great opportunity that we do every spring. It's great for getting internships and jobs. GRI certification, which is the Global Reporting Initiative. This is great for our sustainability folks who want to, again, that's another certification that will help you when you're looking for a sustainability job, especially in the business world. It's a 2-day course. We do it on a weekend in the classroom upstairs, and you receive a certificate at the end. And so this has helped a number of our students get sustainability positions after they graduated. We also have courses for credit that are field courses, and I thought I'd highlight 3 of them here. One is our field study of Puerto Rico, which unfortunately we will not be able to do this year because of the hurricane, but that class goes down every spring break and studies the many and varied ecosystems that are part of that island, and there's quite a variety. Before you go on the trip, there are pre-trip classes that teach you about the ecosystems, about the culture, and after you return, there's some additional courses, reports from the field, and you actually meet some local Puerto Rican groups and talk to the kids about what they learned while they were down there. There's an ornithology class where students learn to band birds and learn more about birds as indicators of environmental issues. And so that's a fantastic trip course. We also have something called Creating Gateways to Smarter Conservation, which is looking at biodiversity and land conservation. We have other ones as well, particularly in the summertime. We have a number of trip courses dealing with ecosystems and land preservation. So lots of opportunities to get out in the field if you want to. We also have some policy courses, like I said, that get out and about. We have our World Water Week, which goes to Stockholm, Sweden. They just got back. And our Future of Water class actually goes to Washington, D.C., and that's a lot of fun. They do what they call a day in the life of a lobbyist, where you go around and meet with nonprofits, the government, and other interested groups to talk about how things get done in Washington. Now, if you're interested in learning more about our program beyond what I'm talking about today, you can actually follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Here are links. The Penn MES MSAG Twitter is specifically for our program, the Master of Environmental Studies and our Master of Science and Applied Geosciences programs. The Penn EES one is for our department, and which covers our PhDs and our undergrads and everyone else, including us. And then our Facebook account, again, is more focused on our department and what's happening here in terms of research. And so these are just some screenshots of some of the things that we've posted recently for our Twitter feed, which is telling you a little bit about some of the internships our students have done this summer. All right. So, some folks often ask, if you're an international student, what are the special things for you folks? All concentrations in the Master of Environmental Studies program are STEM, except for the Advocacy and Education concentration. All the rest STEM, which allows you to stay for optional practical training after for, I think it's 29 months. So that's really good to know. And you can do internships, paid internships. We do have curriculum practical training available so that you can do paid internships both during the semester and in the summertime. And you can do paid work in the U.S. after graduation through the OPT or optional practical training program. All right. Let me put you back onto this one. Does anybody have any questions? I've been talking here now for quite a bit of time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, great. Well, thank you all for coming. And again, if you have any questions, we're here. We'll be here till 1 o'clock, and we're happy to answer anything that you might have.